Coming up next on Pedal the Springs, we're talking with the Southern Colorado Velo Cycling Club. Welcome and roll on into Pedal the Springs podcast, where we banter about all things biking in Colorado Springs and the Pikes Peak region. I'm your host, Tori Giffen, and what I don't know about cycling in the area, my friends do. And here are today's guests from Southern Colorado Velo Cycling Club, or SoCo Velo. We have Kimberly Trogdon. She's the president and social media director of the club. Welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Do you go by Kimberly or Kim?
Kimberly.
Kimberly, wonderful. And then we have Sarah, I'm going to say it right, Roche.
Roosh.
Gosh darn it.
It's okay.
I blew it. That happens to you all the time, I bet.
It does.
Sarah Roosh, and Sarah is the secretary for SoCo Velo. Hi, Sarah.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Oh, I'm glad to have you guys. I mean, we have partnered quite a bit in the past few years between the Buffalo Lodge Bike Tribe and Colorado Springs Cycling Club and SoCo Velo more than ever.
Yeah.
Your club has been around for 15 years now.
Yeah.
How did it all start?
So started out as actually a racing team and did some crits and different things like that in town. But as they got closer to COVID, that actually ended all of the racing, and it turned more into a social club and just basically bike advocacy and trying to expand the awareness of bicycles in Colorado Springs.
So I do remember those early days. I had a Chick-fil-A cycling club, I think, in the early days where we would ride for free chicken. And then there was the racing club that we fed, and you guys would do your crits out at the racetrack.
Yeah.
Those were huge. So I had the impression for a long time that it was a racing club and not for me, but now it is very much for beginner to pro, yes?
Yes, absolutely. We try to welcome all people who like to ride bikes, whether they're just starting out or whether they're actually racing on a regular basis and they just want to ride, something a little recovery or just be with their friends.
And so what type of riding does the club do now? You mainly rode.
We do road on Thursdays. We started doing gravel last year on Tuesdays. And then when we have rides on the weekend, they could be either one. And then occasionally we'll have a mountain bike ride. So, yeah.
Okay. And then the thing I know about the club is that kind of once you get involved, like a lot of clubs around the country, there are people within the club that are doing all types of riding, whether it's mountain bike, gravel. You have is it the vice president the web designer does the track cycling now.
Yeah, now she's actually both right now. She does both of those things, but she's very much into the track right now. So she's doing that, but still participating in the club. And that's another thing that we really try to express is it doesn't matter how many clubs you're a member of, it's good to just be involved in cycling. So if you want to race and then also have a club where you can just ride socially, then you should do that.
Because you need those down days too.
Yes, yeah.
So Sarah, how did you get involved with the club?
So I was formerly mostly a trail runner. I had a bike, but I didn't ride it very much. And then right as COVID hit, I tore my piriformis. So there was no running or hiking. And the only safe thing to do was to get outside. So I took out my heavy old commuter bike and started riding it around and was like, wait, why haven't I been doing this a long time ago? And then a friend gave me her old road bike, which I still ride to this day. And yeah, I was getting up to like 40 to 70 miles a week and was just like addicted. And then once things kind of started opening up a little more, SoCo Velo actually had a table at a running club that I went to at Trails and Trailblazers. And I was talking to them because I was like, I want to ride bikes with people. And they were like, yes, come, we need more women riders. And so, I joined them that fall. I think that was the fall of 2021. And yeah, I've been a member ever since, and now I'm on the board.
It did go from a lot of guys in a racing club to, I would say, pretty evenly matched male to female these days. Yes,
we definitely have quite a few women, and pretty close to half the board is female as well. So
that's amazing. So, tell me a little bit more about what's been going on with the club in the current day. Like, what kind of activities are you involved in outside of cycling? You mentioned the advocacy.
Yes, we don't work super closely with Bike Colorado Springs, but we did participate with their ride leader training, and quite a few of the members took the ride leader training from them, which was wonderful. And then we also participated in the Ride of Silence. It got rained out a little bit, but there were still some diehards there.
We were on that together.
Yes, we did that.
On that together. That was an amazing. That was.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that really gets big because we ride in memory of people who've been hit or killed, or injured or killed on their bicycle,
Right.
and it was very powerful having a police-led ride through the community.
Yeah.
And I hope that really grows.
I do too.
And unfortunately, we've had a few accidents in the last few years.
Yeah, we have. So, but it's
Ride
things
leader
like
training
that.
Very important for leading a safe ride and making sure your riders are safe.
Yeah, and it makes the members feel better too, knowing that their ride leader is confident in what they're doing. So we try to really have some rules and guidelines for the ride leaders, which they then express to the members, and it just makes a little bit more of a cohesive and comfortable ride for everybody. So it's been a good journey, I think, since the club came back from COVID. It's gotten a little bit bigger. We had some changes so that now we have a larger board and we share the workload a little bit more, and we're trying to expand our rides, which I think went really well. And then also the partnering with other clubs has just been amazing. So, and that's my favorite part, I think, is being able to partner with the Buffalo Lodge tribe and then partner with Colorado Springs Cycling Club and doing these Labor Day rides and some Saturday rides and Memorial Day.
And even COS Racing comes out, like our true race club, right?
Yeah.
But the balloon ride we just did was beautiful. And we had over 40 people meeting at 5:45 in the morning on a holiday.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
To go ride and watch the balloons launch. But that was amazing. I've never seen so many balloons touch the water at Prospect Lake. It was just perfect weather. It was a sight to see.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think that is important, is that the clubs are able to work together and collaborate, and so that way it makes just the cycling community closer and more cohesive and gives more options, I think.
So Sarah, you came out for the first ride, but what is it that you loved about the club that kept you coming back over and over? Like, what's the culture of the club, and what kept you coming back?
How inclusive and welcoming it is, because I don't have a large budget for bikes or cycling gear. And just the fact that I could show up on my probably 25-year-old road bike, and I'm not even sure if I had actual bike kit the first couple rides I went. Like, I quickly learned how useful it is.
Yes.
But like, I was very, very much a novice, and just the fact that they welcomed me, nobody made me feel like I was a pariah because I didn't have everything that everyone else had, and that our rides are no drop. So you will get better if you continue coming, but you're not going to be made to feel less than
and
at any
left behind.
At any ride at Velo, and that's very important to me. Any active group that I'm a part of has to have that, or I'm not interested. Totally. And I know a lot of people are the same. So if that's the kind of club you're looking for, we're it.
So what are the rides that you're doing right now with the club, and what does it look like? When do they meet?
My favorites have always been the over the hump rides on Thursday. That's the one I started with, and that's the one I do most consistently. I did start gravel biking recently, so I do try to make those every now and then. And then, the weekend rides are always good too, but the Thursday ride has always been my staple.
So what time do you show up? Where do you meet at? How long is it?
The Thursday rides usually start from Criterium at 6 p.m. for most of the year. In April and in September, we move them to 5:30. And then
Where do you park?
You can park. There's a doctor's office lot kind of across the street that closes, and they let us park there. And then we're also encouraged to park at Furniture Row, which is like just kind of down the way from Criterium.
Okay.
And every now and then we'll have a social ride that might start at like Red Leg or something like that. But in general, they're from Criterium.
Okay. Speaking of Criterium, did Criterium help start SoCo Velo? Or I have always seen SoCo Velo have their kickoff meetings and start their rides there. What's the connection?
So they didn't help start SoCo Velo. In the beginning, there was a different sponsor bike shop, but that changed ownership. Things change over time, and the president back then approached Criterium, and they were willing to partner with us and become one of our main sponsors in order to help keep the club going, but then also to provide the shop with a club that they could direct people to say, hey, we have rides here as well. Because I think at the time, Criterium was also renting bikes. Mm-hmm. And so that gave them the opportunity to, provide a safe space for the people who are renting the bikes to then ride their bikes too. So
that's great. Speaking of sponsors, you guys are a sponsored club, and you do have sponsors. Mm-hmm. So, who are some of the sponsors, and what does that do for the club? And I mean, I'm not saying I know one of them.
I know. I was going to say you're testing my memory.
Oh wait, look at the back of her shirt. You can look at the back of the
That's
shirt.
That's true.
So we got Criterium.
So
on
Criterium,
the sleeve.
and then Buffalo Lodge is one of our main sponsors. Yeah.
Yes.
Then we also have Stewart's Remodel, Design, and Build, and they're also one of our main and longtime sponsors. And then we have Optometra, and we have Eon Studios.
We're gonna find them. We're gonna find them.
And then I think that's it for right now. So
yeah, Eon Studios is actually they are a t-shirt and design shop.
Yeah.
So they're a great shop, locally owned shop.
Yes.
They can do embroidery, they can do print, all that kind of stuff.
And we've used them actually to do our shirts too. So we also have a couple other sponsors. We have the bakery that sponsors us, and then we also have a partnership with Twisted Spoke and Elevation Wheels.
Okay.
And so they were able to offer our club members discounts, as a partnership with them. So
I ride no long distance ride without Twisted Spokes chamois cream and their CBD recovery cream. It's magical. I mean, I won't even use anything else anymore. It's great.
It's good.
Love them. So what does the sponsorships do for your club? And then what do they get?
So the sponsorships help fund our club. And so we have different things throughout the year. One of them that we started was the holiday party in November. And we subsidize the price of that for the members, but then we're also able to invite the sponsors and pay for those tickets as well. So it helps fund the things that we try to give back to the members, and then have socials and have parties and things like that. So it's very helpful to have sponsors.
And then they're on the jersey.
And we try to advertise for them as well. So on our Facebook page, on our website, they're listed. We talk about them with club members. We have different things at the places that they own. So, at Buffalo Lodge, at Criterium, to bring the members there. So we try to keep it as equal as a, partnership as possible that we can.
I think that's so important because I've been, as somebody who runs a business, a lot of times you help sponsor and support different groups, and you never see any kind of other than that you're doing something good. A lot of groups aren't very good at, any kind of a give back, and you guys do a great job. I have the beautiful wood carved plaque in the Buffalo Lodge Bicycle Resort that has the sponsor, and got invited to the first Christmas dinner last year, which was at the Cliff House in Manitou. That was really beautiful. That was a fun event. You guys did a really really nice. And you could see the warmth and the community of your club, and just the genuineness, and it definitely feels like family, but there was new and old members there and stuff, not, cliquey, and, not like this type of a, person. And so I thought it was very opening and welcoming. And are you guys still looking for now you're already probably looking for sponsors for next year, right?
We are, yes.
So they can just go to the website and find out how to sponsor?
Yes, because we actually have a sponsorship director on the board now.
Okay.
So when we absorbed the Bicycle Club in Woodland Park,
yes,
we invited those members as well to come join our club and to come join our board, so that way we could still have that perspective. And so one of those members, Helen, she's our sponsorship director. So contacting her is definitely a good way to get that ball rolling.
Speaking of Woodland Park, tell me more about that partnership. You basically acquired or absorbed the Mountaintop Cycling Club.
Right. So they were coming to a point where they were going to dissolve. They were having a little bit of trouble with finding, leadership, which is, I think, a trouble for all clubs. And one of our members was riding up there as well. And so he came and told us about it, told the board about it, and we met with the outgoing president and offered to absorb them as part or as a chapter of Velo under the Velo name. And they were happy to have that happen, because they still wanted to have rides and have the organization and have support, but they just couldn't do it by themselves anymore. So we did that, and I think it's gone pretty well. We do hold 2 or 3 rides every summer up there, and it's a good way to get out of Colorado Springs and go, explore some different roads up there. So it's been fun, both road and gravel up there. So yeah,
that's great. Yeah, it probably wasn't. I mean, just to have your social media person and your web person just kind of add an extra ride in, is probably not. But that for them, was probably the network that they needed to help support it.
Yeah,
I think it's a brilliant idea, for clubs that are struggling, is to, instead of fold, is to find a club that can absorb, the club, and that you don't lose it and stuff. So that's amazing. I wanted to also talk about what are your plans for, are you guys doing anything different for next year at all?
Well, since we do have a larger board and we don't want people to burn out, we have initiated elections for our board. So those are coming up actually the end of this year. And we're hoping it goes really well, so that way we can have some people rotate out and some new people rotate in with new ideas and fresh energy. So that's different for our club. And we're still planning our holiday party this coming up. So once the weather turns a little colder, we hope to ride through September. But when it gets a little colder, we'll start. We're going to call them online rides this year, because not everyone has a Zwift or something similar. So we're going to do online rides where we're all connected together through audio, and you ride whatever you have.
Okay.
Yeah. So you could do Zwift, or you could just do a trainer or whatever, but we'll be all connected through the audio. So that's going to be a little different, and hopefully goes well to keep us together. We're going to continue our socials throughout the winter, because I think the problem with living in some place that has snow is that during the winter you feel like you lose touch with your cycling friends. And so we're trying to continue doing social and happy hours every month, so that way you can get together, you can bring your significant other, you can bring your kids, it doesn't matter. And we just have that time together so we can still socialize and talk about our upcoming year and get excited and, catch up. So
that's exciting. So what has been do you have a ride that you've done this year, Sarah, with the club that's been your favorite place to go, or your favorite ride that you've done? Or if not a favorite ride this year, what is your favorite place to ride in the Springs for those that might be coming to the Springs or looking for a club to join?
We do this route a lot on our Thursday rides, but just where we start from Criterium and end up coming and riding downtown, usually the bike lane on Cascade, and then either go down through Old Colorado City and then up through Garden of the Gods. There's just always, it's such a beautiful ride and get to show everyone that we do use the bike lanes on
We
Cascade.
do use the bike lane.
There's actually a Strava segment called "I don't see anyone using these bike lanes," and every time I'm on it, I'm like, "I did." So those are always just, and sometimes that kind of route could be intimidating to someone if they don't ride with a group. But
Right.
when you ride it with a group and you're like, wow, we do have some pretty cool bike infrastructure here. I just got to get out and do it.
Have you guys ridden the new
New
section,
connector?
the new
Yes.
connected
That's
for-
also going to be a new favorite.
Oh, it's
way to loop.
We just rode that to get out to Memorial Park
Yes.
for the balloon
It made it
festival.
so
We
much
just met at
easier.
the Legacy Loop Trailhead. We went across the Pop Cycle Bridge, and then we took the Templeton Gap Trail up to the Middle Shooks Run Trail, and then that we just hopped right off onto the road for a short segment up to Costilla. You should hear local bicyclists talk about the roads, like everybody knows. But and then we came back that way and right into the park. It was amazing. But now that really connects so many different trails and stuff together. So,
Yes.
yeah, you can go all the way up, and you connect with. I believe at some point you can also run over and connect to the Rock Island. I think you take that Hancock. Is that?
I think so.
Hancock, and you can get
Well,
over
you
to the
can,
Rock Island.
you can go straight from the Popsicle Bridge all the way out to Powers now without getting on any roads.
Isn't that
and
amazing?
That's nice. I'm
That's
excited.
amazing. What else do you think that people would be interested in hearing about the club? Like, tell me your favorite ride first, actually.
My favorite ride is, it's a little bit longer than that, and it's a great weekend ride, I think, because it starts from Criterium and you use the Cottonwood Creek Trail all the way out so you can go up into that
east.
neighborhood, out east, and then cut over into the base. And you can ride the Air Force Academy because as long as you have an idea, you can get on, and that is an awesome ride. It gets some nice hills, so you go all the way through the base, and then you come back down through, I can't remember the name of the road, but it's off of Academy and you end up back at Criterium. But that one's really fun because it also passes by Loyal Coffee up north, and you can have a coffee stop if you want.
Yes. So what is the best way for somebody to connect with your club? You're SocoVelo.com, right? Mm-hmm. SocoVelo.com for the website. So how does somebody get started with SocoVelo?
So you can either email us through the website. We do have email there. You can contact us through our Facebook page. We have the SocoVelo Facebook page. We have a SocoVelo Instagram page. So pretty much any social media way you want to contact us, and we will respond and help you get set up with, either maybe a free ride or a 30-day membership where you can just try us out as a
30-day
trial.
membership, like a free membership for 30 days to try you out. That's amazing.
Yeah, because you want enough rides, so you can meet different people and maybe try out a gravel ride and a road ride and a long weekend ride. So sometimes one's not enough.
So what is the cost to join? What is the criteria? Like, you guys asked your people to buy the kit.
We highly encourage people to buy the kit, but if we're not expecting people to create a hardship to have the kit, so it's just highly encouraged just because it makes you more visible, and it's really cool to see a group of people wearing the same kit riding down the street.
I agree.
You have to have a bicycle.
Yeah.
We do require all of our members to wear helmets, and you need to have a front and rear light for your bike, and the cost is $40 a year. So,
wow.
And we do have insurance for our club members for during group rides.
Yes.
So that way, if something does happen, which we hope never does, then, we do have that insurance as well. So it's a nice thing to have, in the back of your mind that I'm riding with safe people, and if something does happen, I'm covered.
That's great. So I know that my friend Terry listens to my podcast when they come out. He's an avid listener of the Pedal the Springs. And so let's just talk about some of the characters in the club. Let's like just some of the friendships you formed, or tell me about some of the people in the club or the characters and the friendships you formed.
I feel like we need to shout out Al.
Oh, yeah.
Al is
He
In his
is
80s?
in his 80s. He rides with our club in the summer, and then every winter he goes to Arizona and he continues to ride. I think he rides 10,000 miles a year.
It's insane.
He is so strong. He's as strong as our strongest young rider.
That's incredible.
And he's amazing. So
And coming from the flatlands.
yeah. So he goes back and forth every year, and he's probably I think our oldest member. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also the most consistent usually. He comes to a lot of our Thursday rides and he'll be our sweep and make sure everybody's okay and knows the route.
Yeah.
And he's just awesome.
I've ridden with Now. We actually rode across Iowa one year, and she's just like a dynamo.
Oh, she is.
She
so
is. She's
strong.
amazing.
And I mean, she's really gotten into the track cycling now. And so, do you know if that spawned any other track cyclists in your club at all?
I don't think so. I know we do have the spouse of a track cyclist in our club, Kevin. And he rides track a little bit too, I do believe. So, yeah.
So we have the Velodrome here in Colorado Springs where they've actually now opened it up for public use. And so anybody can kind of go and try it on specific days and times and stuff. And
it's fun.
Try something new. It's really fun.
The club actually several years ago did a learn the track thing, so you could sign up, and then the club went and they did a lesson so that we could all ride the track bikes, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm glad it's open for the public again.
Any other big personalities or people that like just really are memorable with the club? Because I couldn't pack them all in the room.
Right.
So you get to tell their story.
I think all of our members are great. I mean, we have people who really like gravel and they show up for gravel, and we have a very young rider.
Yes.
I'm going to mess up her name, so.
I probably would too,
Okay.
but she's 14 and she did all the loops of the 719 ride recently in her Soco Velo kit, and she's amazing. She's probably on to do great cycling things.
She's a mountain biker and does racing and gravel racing, and so her and her dad joined the club so that she would have some faster riders to be able to ride with as well. So it's really exciting when she shows up for the rides, and she blows us all away.
And then I probably shout out Chris too, who leads our
Thursday
He's
night.
been leading our Thursday night rides for a long time. He's always got
Is Chris the
good
one that's
routes.
been like with the club forever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, like
Yeah.
since the beginning.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we really appreciate that he leads the Thursday night ride. So
They're always fun. He always gets us back at the right time.
Yeah. And he's really been critical in initiating the ride socials as well. So, because we'll usually have him on a Thursday after one of his rides. So he'll shorten the ride so that way we can maybe start at Red Leg or someplace and have a quick ride, but then have that time together afterwards so we can sit and chat and enjoy each other. So yeah, he's been really good about that.
That sounds great. Well, it's been awesome having you in studio today. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Like, get out and ride with Soco Velo. And be sure to check out the show notes for links we mentioned in this episode, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, be sure to check out the other fine podcasts at studio809podcast.com, your local voices in the Pikes Peak region. The Pedal the Springs podcast is produced by Studio 809 and recorded at The Next Us, a professional cooperative environment for small businesses in downtown Colorado Springs. The Pedal the Springs podcast on Studio 809 is brought to you by the Buffalo Lodge Bicycle Resort, the only bicycle-themed lodging and must-stay for cyclists in Colorado. Check us out at bicycleresort.com for more information.